do have a student who's younger, it really would depend on your advancement at present in high school, when you're going to graduate, and if you're at the level to complete the SAT curriculum. So that will be a case by case basis. I would have to issue the students a proficiency or an assessment to determine that. But students have written the SAT as young as 9 years in America and other places. But so it really depends on where you're at academically.
Thank you. A question from Brent. How many hours would you advise someone to study for a day?
How many hours? So that again it depends on what your schedule looks like. If you're a student you're in full-time school, you have activities or training or extra classes at the end of the day, I recommend that you can give the SAT at least 1 hour 5 days a week. If you're a student, maybe you're out of school and you're waiting on some opportunities, then I would say give the SAT half of your day, 3 to 4 hours. So, with the relevant breaks. So it depends on where you're at in terms of your daily schedule.
We have a question earlier on during your presentation. You kind of addressed it before, but I'll still ask. Can someone prepare for SATs in 8 weeks?
Absolutely, you can. It really depends. So let's say 8 weeks is about 2 months. Yes, you can, but again, I will deal with that usually on a case-by-case basis, because if after the student, I assess the student and I find that the student might be missing some prerequisites foundation for the SAT topics, then I would say 8 weeks is not going to be enough for that student. But if that student did well on the proficiency and I see that they have the foundation, then 8 weeks, 2 weeks, 5 weeks can work. It depends on where you're at. So yes and no, depending on where you're at.
Thank you. For Form 4 students who may not know what college they would like to attend, an athlete student that is, what advice do you have for SATs? I'll say it again.
I got it. So Form 4 students, you're not sure what college. Well, firstly, if you're looking into the SAT, one of the, well, if you are interested in getting that athletic scholarship, whatever, soccer, track and field, whatever it is, firstly you have to be in communication with your coaches, and that way you would assess where you are in terms of your athletic credentials. So that's one area there. But in terms of the SAT, I would say you can start considering it as early as fourth form. But when you come to me as a student, I will assess you to see where you're at, because you can be a student at fourth form who is absolutely ready, to take the SAT, or maybe there might be some fundamental, gaps in between. So for example, I did C-Sec math and English at Form 4 level. And I did the Form 4, when I did math, I had a distinction at Form 4 level. So at that level, I could have written the SAT then. So it really depends on where you're at. But it is not too early to start considering the SAT. So I would say you can reach out, you can do some research, or you can reach out for more information on the SAT. But you can do it. You can write the SAT without knowing what college you want to go to. You can figure that out, on the go.
Yeah. Okay, another question. How much do you what is the score for someone looking for an athletic scholarship? What is the suggested score for SATs?
In that area, I often leave that for the coaches and the scouts, but I usually advise my students make at least the minimum of the average SAT score, which is 1,060 points minimum. But apart from telling my students that, I say prepare your best so that your score will be higher. Don't just think of it as, well, I'm good, I went to Carifta, or I represented my country on the national football team or soccer team or whatever, so I don't need a high score. You aim as high as you possibly can. So I would say starting at an average score of 1,060 points, and we push you to aim as high as you possibly can.
Great, thank you. Is there possibility of a student receiving a waiver for the SAT fee?
As in when you say the SAT exam fee or the SAT?
Yes, the exam fee. Yes.
SAT fee as a there are waiver possibilities, but not always available for international students. So it really would be on a case by case basis. But what I would recommend is in a situation like that, for the SAT exam, the SAT exam, I can tell you that it's usually, if you go to the College Board, you would find that the exam fee for international students would run between 90 to about 110 US, right? $90 to 110 US. So if you cannot access the waiver because you're obviously outside of US territory, I would say look for a sponsor. That would be my recommendation. Try to acquire sponsors to assist you in that process.
Thank you. Another question from Rashad. Does the SAT score expire?
It not these days. You can have the SAT running you for about, say, 3 years or so, 2 to 3 years.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions? You'll feel free to type it in the chat so we could reach out and get your questions answered by Ms. Musgrave.
Can I also add that for my prep course, I am very mindful of the financial responsibilities that athletic students have to cover in funding even their training. So I often offer discounts and scholarships into my SAT prep for athletic students. So it really, I look at the cases, and it I would work accordingly, right? There were times where I had students really gifted, but they would not have been able to afford the classes, and I allowed them a full scholarship into my program. Every cycle I offer at least one or two athletic students a full scholarship into my program, and offer many of the others some partial discounts or scholarships. So I also do that, especially for athletic students. I was there, I used to play basketball. I had friends who really needed the classes, and without having to go to classes, they would come to my house and I would help them for the program. And also, as I mentioned before, if you contact me, you would get the listing of all the different types, the master class, the crash course, and you get the cost of those sessions by me for the SAT. So you would have to contact me to get that information directly.
Just a reminder, if you scroll up higher in the chat, you would see Ms. Musgrave's contact information. An interesting, based on what you just said, Shanice, is it possible to work out a payment plan also?
Yes, actually, yes. I also offer payment plans as well. Yes. Yes. So I work with the students and parents accordingly. Absolutely.
Okay, great. Great. Any more questions to the listeners and viewers? Do you think the Caribbean needs a program like QuestBridge or Fulbright, but for students in high school?
It's an excellent, yes, I'm very familiar with the Fulbright program. Yes, it's an excellent idea, and it always is about finding the key stakeholders and those persons who will fund and open the gateways for our students to be on. We can consider that as an exchange program, because other countries around the world have these types of programs. So it really is always about finding the key stakeholders to facilitate these types of processes or ideas. But excellent idea.
and bring you up to date in terms of, what is transpiring in terms of getting scholarships, what is required of you, and how you can prepare yourself, and not just prepare yourself, but at the same time, be able to fulfill, your agreements with colleges and universities, and come out on the other end successful. As we continue to bring coaches, we continue to bring a number of qualified professionals in the field, so you could have that opportunity to speak with them pertaining to scholarships. So once again, I want to thank you guys so much for coming out today, and also just some news for you, some housekeeping. If you are interested in being a part of our WhatsApp group, you can text me at 954-830-4829. That is 954-380-4829. You can text me there, and we could join you in the group. Inside of that group is where I would put information on opportunities that we have at colleges, universities, and also junior colleges. So we share information there. Like, for instance, yesterday, Friday, we had a number of opportunities for girls in a number of colleges and junior colleges yesterday. And I am pleased to inform you that 5 girls have satisfied the coaches with information that is needed for them to be, and to enter the school. So we are working feverishly to close off those agreements. We also have a young man who will be getting his paperwork come Monday from a college in Kansas. And the coach is very much interested in him after his video presentation was shown to the coach. Just a number of things that I need to bring to the forefront. I know it's very difficult right now for kids to put together videos, because majority of you from Trinidad and Tobago and different countries, there were no soccer playing last year. So it's very difficult for you to put your videos together. And that is understood by some coaches. But I think we need to become more creative, because it's difficult, very, very difficult for a coach to really offer you a scholarship. And as you know, when you gather that information on scholarship, it's quite expensive to offer you a scholarship. And, the coach doesn't have that information. He can't see you play. There's no information there pertaining to it. What I would strongly suggest to you is if you are allowed, whatever country you are in, if you're allowed to go to your parks or your playgrounds, you can still become creative and innovative in terms of putting videos together. You can work on a number of skills and technique to put together. If you have footage from 3 years ago, mix and match footage with up-to-date footage, your skills, ball work, technique, sprints, speed, strength. So coaches can look at it, because the coaches understand what transpired last year. So you need to become more creative in terms of that. And God's willing that, that the corona will somehow, be taken care of. At least all of us are hoping that, so we could get back out to play soccer. But till that time, wherever you are, be creative in it. Some of you was in the college league, played in the college league. I think it's 2018. Don't quote me. I think that was the last time you played, because 2019, 2018. Contact the college league, the S.A.S.S.A. I believe they had Sports Max covering the game. See if you could make contact with Sports Max, and chat with Sports Max about some of the games that they covered. They may still have those videos. Go up on YouTube. Some of those games are on YouTube, and you might be able to pull up your game on YouTube. So as I said, you need to become much more creative in terms of it. And as I said, coaches understand because I'm in constant conversation with coaches, and they understand exactly what is transpiring now in terms of getting kids to send footage for them. One thing too I'd like to touch on too, if you do get you with a junior college, these games are being taped at the junior college level. I would strongly suggest that you get copies of your games. Even at college level or university level, I would strongly suggest that you get copies of your game. You may want to go on to play semi-pro or professional soccer. You may want to transfer at one point to another school. You know, so you need to get these videos because these schools do videotape these games, and you keep these footage and these videos of yourself. That is critical and important. So once again, I would like to say thanks again for joining us as we continue this journey going forward with the 411 group, as we continue to full pace ahead, getting you the information that you need, bringing this information straight into your homes, your laptops, your phones, bringing you this information that you need so you could be better equipped, so you could continue pursuing your goals, pursuing your dreams. I would strongly advise you not to give up, not to quit. I know it's difficult. You want to get out there and play. You want to get out there and you know, play soccer. And it's difficult for you to do that because of some of the restrictions in different countries. You have a yard outside. Some of you guys have a yard outside. Go outside and do some work out in the yard. Keep fit. You know, because you gotta get yourself physically, mentally, psychologically ready if you are to attend schools abroad. No excuses. You gotta be prepared, you know, for where you're going, and you cannot wait till an offer is offered to you and then make that decision. Okay, I'm gonna get myself fit now. You know, you gotta keep working. You gotta keep putting in that work to get yourself ready. And as you know, and I need to remind you, and I will continue to remind you, it's student athlete. The student comes before the athlete. So if you are offered a scholarship, you are a student athlete. You are not there just to play soccer. You are there to study too. So you got to balance your books with the soccer, and you got to perform to a certain level to maintain your scholarships. So once again, I'd like to say thank you very much from our team for today. Our guest speaker, Ms. SHANICE Musgrave. Thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Thank you so much for the information that you share with us today. We would love to have you back again, and I know we communicate on a daily basis. I would continue to communicate with you and have you back on the show again, because we need to get this information out. We have a wonderful lineup coming. We have coaches coming from D1 schools, D2 schools, D3 schools that will come to you and you know, speak to you about their program and what is required and what they're looking for in terms of their schools, and the opportunities are there. And as I said before, if you are not a part of our WhatsApp group, please join that group. I would recommend it that you join our group. Text me. I will send you the information for you to get involved in the group. There's opportunities there. We cannot, and I have to be honest and truthful with you. I cannot guarantee anyone a scholarship. I can assist you to get one. So I have to be honest and straightforward. I don't ever tell anyone or mention to anyone, I can get you, guarantee you. I don't think anyone could guarantee you that they could give you a scholarship. They can assist you with getting a scholarship. And this is what I have been doing, assisting kids with scholarships. And as I said yesterday, we have a number of girls who will be